What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to this episode of English Turks, where I review your favorite Turkish series with and without English subtitles. And today we're going to talk about the final episode of Dogdugun of Kaderindir. Guys, how have you been? How has life been? I definitely made sure that I was able to watch the final episode of Dogdugun of Kaderindir. I honestly didn't watch every single episode leading up to that, so from my last review to this one, I think I watched like one or two more episodes, and then I just waited till the finale. Now, there was a lot of stuff going on, and I just want to talk about some of the stuff that did in fact happen. So I didn't get to see the whole shindig of how they found out that, you know, this girl that was pretending to just be some random person was actually Zeynep's sister. I was able to see the whole meetup. Okay, so when Zeynep's mom, Sakine, finally sees the daughter face to face, recognizes her, everything like that, and kind of calls her out on the fact that, you know, you're my daughter, my missing daughter. And obviously the daughter is like really upset because she felt like she was abandoned by the family. They didn't go looking for her, like they were just living their lives and forgot all about her. But then Sakine kept saying like, no, I've been looking for you everywhere, sent your pictures to Germany, I've done so much just so that I can find you. And then eventually, of course, her life gets consumed with everything going on with Zeynep. I think that's part of the storyline was okay. Like, obviously we knew from the very beginning that the sister would have to play a role in this series just because she was mentioned from the very beginning. So it was obvious that we were gonna meet her eventually, and I think the show would have probably continued going on if it wasn't for the fact that Ibrahim left. Maybe they would have tried to push it a little longer. But I think just making the whole priority of the last few episodes all about Zeynep's sister is kind of like what kind of helped to end the series. Obviously, now Zeynep kind of knows who she is as a person, realizes that the home she grew up in is her home. Like she doesn't need to be looking for a home because her life experiences are like special just for her, and that, you know, she's kind of like coaching her sister now in the end, saying like, yeah, you know, just accept your circumstance, but do something to make it better for yourself. And then I think like they talked about her like starting this organization, which is how they ended it, because they tried to make it seem like the whole show was about, you know, a young woman coming from these different backgrounds and trying to learn and understand who she is. And so now they're going to help other students coming from more impoverished backgrounds to grow up and have similar opportunities and stuff like that, which I think it's all great and dandy. But, you know, the one big thing that I missed was Mehdi, and they did mention his name about once. I think it was Sultan. She was saying like how they would all play together, and they included Mehdi's name in there. But after that, there was not much said about him, which I can understand. He's gone. They've closed his chapter. There's no need to keep mentioning him. I mean, there were references to things that happened, like when Zeynep talks about stuff that happened to her and where she is now and all of that stuff. She's with Barish. I didn't really get to see the wedding. I saw like the wedding was very like not a big important thing. It was very like small, and I thought that was cool. Like, I'm not that like many people, I wasn't that crazy about this Zeynep Barish, but I did feel like he was a better fit for her. But now, like in the end, it kind of, I saw some people making comments like, yeah, you need to be rich and stuff like that just to be happy. Because if you can remember when Zeynep was with Mehdi in the beginning, like she was all depressed and stuff, but that's because she had a huge culture shock. She went from being poor to being rich to then again being sort of poor again, because, you know, she had to wash herself with the bucket and all that stuff. But now you see her living in this extremely like wealthy home with Barish, and they look like they're all fancy and everything like that, and now she's happy. And yeah, I didn't like that part of the message. Like, girls growing up in smaller towns need to be happy where they're at, and just do better for themselves so they can have better for themselves. One thing I did love about the finale, and I think they dragged it up long enough so that it could keep you wanting to see what would happen, was a story between Emine and Savage. Obviously, there's this little flirtation thing going on back and forth, and I guess since like everything is kind of like closed up, all the chapters were closed up, they made it so that it looked like there was still something to look forward to when it came to them. So basically Savage takes her away from everyone. They go to a restaurant. Now all of a sudden everybody's like, ooh, what's going on? Come on, they hang out with each other all the time. They literally work together all the time. But now all of a sudden everyone's paying emphasis to why are they going somewhere separate from everybody else. And then when they go to the restaurant, obviously he's trying to tell her something. They get interrupted by this lady, and the drink accidentally spills on Savage, and she yells out, Emine yells out, oh, get up, which obviously he can't get up. So then they get upset with each other. They kind of avoid each other, and that's what keeps you watching all the way to the end of the episode, because honestly nothing else about the episode was worth watching till the end. I mean, Zainab's story is already fulfilled. She's married to Badish. There's nothing, she's gonna be with Badish, so do you care to watch the wedding? Not really, right? That's why they make it such a big thing. And then all of a sudden she's starting like this thing for kids, for young women, and that's nothing to want to be like, let me watch to the end to see that. But the whole story between Savage and Emine in this last episode was what would make you want to watch to the end. Are they going to confess something to each other? Are they going to do something with each other? What's going to happen? And so eventually in the end, they say she's avoiding him, but then he's avoiding her at the same time. It was kind of weird. It really didn't make any sense. And then she just says, oh, maybe you should move in with me. And he's like, what, as friends? And she's like, oh, well, it could start out that way. So obviously she made the move that Savage never could, because I'm guessing he felt like he didn't deserve Emine because of his disabilities. But here's Emine's like, no, I want you. Yeah, I want you. So that was like my favorite part about the final episode. I definitely was happy to see like mainly most of the characters all coming back. Obviously Nanu is gonna have a baby. I was happy to see that Jamila came back to Nu. That was exciting. And then they brought back Banal and the baby. Sadly, we didn't get to see some of the other characters we lost, like Jamila's daughter. She never came back, and like nothing was ever told to her. The mother who started the series, she never came back. And then we have Kibri, never came back, never mentioned again. It was kind of like, let's find a way to end this well, and let's do it. And that's exactly what happened. I really did love this show. I was sad that Ibrahim wasn't there for the end. And that's why it leads me to believe that they weren't gonna plan on ending it. I think it just had to have happened because all the ratings like completely went down as soon as Mehdi left, because it just took away from the appeal of the whole storyline. I just remember when it first came out, how excited I was just to, see how this, this whole thing was gonna work out, because it's an arranged marriage, but at the same time, she was given a choice. Zainab she didn't have to marry him. She could have went against her mother and not married him. She was given a choice. So this is not a forced, like something that you would see in other cultures where like they have to marry, they don't have a choice. They gave Zainab the choice. She did it because she wanted to please her mother. And so it was cool to see like how this was gonna work out. We all thought that, in the end, she's gonna end up with Mehdi. Now, a lot of people say that the ending of season 1 should have been it, and I kind of agree, because they had to bring in too many characters just to keep the storyline going when they went to season 2. So honestly, where they ended it in season 1, I feel like they shouldn't have rushed to the end of season 1, but maybe the actors needed a break, so they did it. And so therefore they tried to bring it back and keep it going because it had such good ratings at the time. But they should have let it be where instead of ending it where they did on season 1, they should have added the sister story in and then closed out the story, and it would have been great. But now we have a good thing to look forward to. Both Ibrahim, he's gonna be doing a series on Netflix. That's the greatest thing, because you know it'll have subtitles. And then Zainab is doing Demet is doing a movie for Netflix, so that's going to be something interesting to see. A lot of people say they don't want to see them partnered up again, and I think because she had such a good run with John Yamin, that just throwing her in with someone as great as Ibrahim, it meshed much better than it did with Badish. But obviously, because of how everything worked out, nobody's going to want to see them together, and they're probably never going to work together on set again, unless they're doing something which is hard, because both of them are like lead actors. So it's going to be hard to ever see them in something ever again unless they're partnered together, because otherwise it'll have to be a huge production that's paying enough for 4 lead actors, because Zainab's gonna need her own lead significant other, and Ibrahim will need his own lead significant other. But other than that, I've enjoyed this ride, going through Dogdugun Kaderindir with you guys. I am definitely going to try to either catch up with some of the shows I haven't been watching in a while, or watch some new ones. So if you do like my reviews, I know a lot of you always encourage me in the comments, don't forget to click that subscribe button and that like button, and I will definitely be back with you guys. You will be seeing your girl here on this channel, so stay tuned, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.